The one thing I hear from beginner eBay sellers all the time is, how in the world do I know what to buy to resell? I have no idea where to start. Well, the good news for you is that I'm going to show you my special formula so you can determine what is hot on eBay at any given time, any market, any season. This is exciting. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here to teach you my secrets for success, especially how to find treasures galore that will make you more. Be sure to subscribe because the more you watch, the more you're going to make. The very first step is that you're going to pick a category that you're going to research. Now, I'm going to start off by saying this really needs to be a category that you want to sell in. You don't have enough time to look up every single category and every single item in that category. So I would start with just thinking, what do I want to sell? Then I would think, what do I see a lot of? Like the type of stores that I go to. I personally go to thrift stores a lot. So in my mind, I take a little tour of a thrift store and I'm like, okay, when I first walk in, there are antiques to my left and then there's mugs and I just kind of walk through and I think, what do I see a lot of? Let's start there. And then I take that item and research it. So, only think of the ones you want to sell or think of the things that you see often. And let's start there. So in this case, we're going to start with stuffed animal. So you type it in the search bar, hit enter, and then up pops a list of active items. These are items that have not sold yet. They're active right now. So you're going to want to look at the top left-hand side of that list. And that is the number of active listings. You're going to want to write that down. Next, you're going to scroll down on the left-hand side and click on completed listings. Okay, then you're going to go back up to the same top part of the left-hand side of the list, and there's another number. That is the number of completed listings, and you're going to want to write that number down. Then you're going to scroll back down to where the completed listings tab is, and you're going to select sold listings. And then, of course, up pops another list, and you guessed it, you're going to write that number down as well. So take that number on the top left-hand side of the list, write that down as the number of sold listings. You now have all the numbers that you need to figure out the sell-through rate. So you're going to take the completed listings number and the sold listings number, and you're going to figure that out. Are you ready? Here's how we do it. You take sold listings, that number, divided by the amount of completed listings, and up pops your percentage. That percentage is your sell-through rate. This is how you're going to gauge the hottest selling items. So obviously, the higher the number of, sell-through rate, the better your chances are of selling that particular item. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the sort by tab, and you're going to click on it and select price plus shipping highest. Not lowest, highest, because we want a list to pop up of all of the items that are worth the most in those particular categories. We want to see those first. Okay, so go ahead and select that, and bam, you got your list. And you can scroll down and kind of take a look at all of these really high-priced items, these valuable items that are selling. That's always fun. But you're going to want to break it down because that could take hours to go through all of those sold listings. So what I like to do is break it down by item specifics. Now, this is really where you're going to figure out exactly what is hot on eBay. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you'll see the item specifics, and it'll be things like brand or size or, a fabric or color or pattern or whatever. Okay, so here is where we're going to break it down. Now, beside each item specific, you're going to see a number. That means that's the number of listings that has that particular item specific. Okay, so I always like to start with brand, and I like to look to see which particular brands are selling for the most. It just seems like the easiest way to narrow it down, but you can pick whichever way you want to. So I go to brand, and up pops a list of all the brands of stuffed animals that have sold in this case. So as I scroll through, I see that Kelly Toy is one that, first of all, I don't even recognize, but second of all, it's got a lot of sold listings. So I'm going to click on that. Now, only start with one. You don't want to select too many at a time. You just want to do one. So go ahead and click on Kelly Toy. And up pops a list of all of the things that have sold. And remember, we have it sorted with highest first. So these are going to be like the real impressive numbers. But everything that's sold that's Kelly Toy pops up, and you can kind of scroll through and see what is selling. Now remember, you can go back to item specifics and you can look at size, you can look at material, you can look at all different item specifics for that item and just really narrow it down. This is going to give you an idea. So now I know this is what I need to look for when I'm shopping. So when I'm out, I need to look for these squishy marshmallow, Kelly Toy, whatever they're called. I need to look for those particular stuffed animals because chances are they're going to be worth some money. Now, you can go even further, and on that particular item, go ahead and figure out the sell-through rate. So not just in the category, but on the item itself. So like that Kelly Toy, keep the item specifics in there and go back through and look at the completed listings number and the sold listings number and figure your sell-through rate again. And that'll give you a real clear picture if that particular item is worth selling. So now you know which aisles to target, which aisles to skip, and the products that you're looking for. You're ready to go shopping, but once you get there and you find an item, do you know how to look it up to see if it's worth reselling? If not, you need to watch this video. That's the next step because it's my special recipe on how to know if an item is worth reselling or not. You need to go do that right now. You should just go watch that right now. And if you've already watched that video, hey, would you do me a favor and leave a comment below and tell me if you've tried it and it worked? I'm sure it worked.